So we're going to go over all the Sefarim and Tanach, not in depth, just showing which ones fit into which places, if you just want an overview to review the entirety of Tanach. So these are the Sefarim. So first we have Tanach is shorthand for Torah, Navy, Kutuvim. As we see, Tanach, we take the first letter from Torah, take the first letter from Navy, and the first letter from Kotov. You put it into the form Tanach. Okay, so first let's go to Torah. These are the 5 books of Moses given down from Hashem at Har Sinai, Mount Sinai. First we have Bereshit, known as Genesis, Shemot, known as Exodus in English, Vayikra, this is known as Leviticus in English, Bamidbar is known as Numbers, and we have Devarim, which is also known as Deuteronomy, a second telling. And in each one we have different parshiyot, different sections. We have in Sefer Bereshit, we have Bereshit, Noach, Lech Lecha, Vayerech, Vayisara, Toldos, Vayetze, Vayishlach, Vayeshev, Miketz, Vayigash, and Vayichi. Then in Sefer Shemot we have Parshiyot Shemot, Va'era, Bo, Bishalach, Yitro, Mishpatim, Teruma, Tetzaveh, Kisisa, Vayakel, and Pekude. Then Sefer Vayikra we have Parshiyot Vayikra, Tzav, Shemini, Tazria, Metzora, Acharimot, Kedoshim, Emar, Behar, and Bechukosai. Then we have Sefer Bamidbar, we have Parshiyot Bamidbar, Naso, Behaloscha, Shilach, Korach, Chukas, Balak, Pinchas, Matos, and Masai. And then Sefer Devarim, we have Parshiyot Devarim, Be'ezcharan, Ekev, Re'eh, Shoftim, Kitete, Kitavo, Nitzavim, Vayelech, Ha'azino, and finally Vizot HaBracha, which is the final parsha of the entire Torah. And after we finish each each sefer, at the end of every week in the Jewish calendar, we read one parsha, next week one parsha. After we finish an entire sefer, let's say the entire Sefer Bereshit, after we finish Parshat Vayechi, we would say the words Chazak, Vinit Chazek, strong, and be strengthened, and we'd say that for every time we finish Sefer Shemot, Sefer Vayikra, Sefer Bamidbar, and Sefer Devarim. So that's Torah, part of Tanakh. Now let's move on to Nevi'im. We have in Navi, we have Nevi'im Rishonim and Nevi'im Acharonim. Nevi'im Rishonim are more based around history, the history of once the Jews finally got to Israel. We have Sefer Yehoshua, Sefer Shoftim, Sefer Shmuel Aleph, Shmuel Bet, Melachim Aleph, and Melachim Bet. These all tell about the history from when Yehoshua takes over, finally conquers Israel back, the homeland of the Jews. And then Sefer Shoftim is we have each of the judges in the following periods. Then Shmuel Aleph, Shmuel Bet, and Melachim Aleph, Melachim Bet shows the timeline of the kings and a few Nevi'im in that time, including Eliyahu HaNavi, which takes place in Melachim Aleph and Melachim Bet. Is a lot of Eliyahu HaNavi is in between Melachim Aleph and Melachim Bet. So then we have Nevi'im Acharonim, the later prophets. These are more based around things that are more deep. These aren't story based. More things that are trying to. These Sefarim are each giving, I guess, Musar. Sefer Yeshayahu is the first one. Then we have Sefer Yirmiyahu, and then Sefer Yechezkel. And the next 12 we refer to as the Trei Asar, which means the 12, because these 12 are often short. They're all short versions of, they're all between 1 and 15 parakim, more or less. Whereas Yeshayahu, Yirmiyahu, and Yechezkel are each 40 to 60 parakim, around that amount. So in the Trei Asar, which are also part of Nevi'im Acharonim, we have Sefer Hosea, Yoel, Amos, Sefer Obadiah, Sefer Yonah, Sefer Micha, Sefer Nahum, Sefer Chavakuk, Sefer Tzefaniah, Sefer Chagai, Sefer Zechariah, and Sefer Malachi. So these are all part of Navi. And then, so these are all the foretellings from Nevi'im, from prophets, whereas the Torah is a foretelling from prophet, from Hashem, specifically to the prophet Moses at Har Sinai, for Moshe Rabbeinu. Are these for the 5 books of Moses, we refer to them, and these are all the other books, all the other Sefarim, the Nevi'im, brought down by the prophets, by the Nevi'im. Then we have the final part of Tanach, Kotv, Ketuvim. We call these the Ketuvim. The first is Tehillim, written by David HaMelech, then Mishle, written by Shlomo HaMelech. We have Eov. Then we have the Chamesh Megillot. These are also a subsection in Ketuvim. They're the 5 Megillot, the 5, we'll say, sections, the 5 portions. I guess we read them at different times in the year. We read Shir Hashirim, which is at Pesach. We read Rus at Shavuot. We read Echa at Tisha B'Av. We read Kohelet at Sukkot. It's a holiday, Chag Sukkot. And we read Megillat Esther at Purim. Then we have, in the rest of Ketuvim, we have Sefer Daniel, we have Sefer Ezra, Sefer Nehemiah. These two are often confused to be one Sefer. Really, they're two separate Sefarim. Then we have Divrei Hayamim Aleph and Divrei Hayamim Bet, which show what happens in, it's basically another in-depth version of Melachim Aleph and Melachim Bet from Nevi'im. It's the annals, the writings of the kings in from Melachim Aleph and Melachim Bet. So thank you for watching. This is a summary of Tanach, of all the Sefarim in Tanach. If you want to get a good look at it, you could pause the video right now. I'm going to try to focus. Here we go for Torah. And then Navee, if you want to zoom in. And then we have Kotv, Ketuvim. Okay, thank you for watching, and have a good day. Baruch Hashem.